And so we continue this series of videos by taking the US non-player turn. Again, development just as in normal play. We get Arab Spring, so this is one of slightly different events. First thing to note about this is that it doesn't actually have a free slot here in the Middle East or in Africa to go into, so it will not come into play. But basically, essentially how this works is, so the Arab Spring card shows you a track onto which we place or indicate 2 levels of tension, or 3 if we're playing an all human game. And then every time tension increases in Africa or in the Middle East regions, then you will decrease the tension here shown on the Arab Spring card, and when it hits 0, then you execute the sequence on the card. So that's essentially quite simple, but so we will just discard this card. It will not occur this time. And so we go opportunities, and let's see, is the United States able to resolve an opportunity anywhere? I don't think so, so we will continue into the commands. And this being a non-player side, we will simply draw 4 cards for the United States, and those cards will be these. Non-players, they do not suffer consequences, so we don't really have to worry about the suits of the cards and start counting them and all that. We just simply start playing the actions per the suit of the card drawn. So here we've got a political action suit, and from previous videos you will remember we can look up here on the play aid, solitaire play aid, what's the action that they will wish to do, and so the procedure is always the same. You roll a die to select a random starting region where you look at whether they're able to do the kind of things they desire. So 5 is Middle East, the Middle East, and but there the US will not take an action since there is no space where they could increase political influence such that they would thereby become eligible to resolve an opportunity or world event. So we skip from 5 to 6, which is the US home space. Well, there 2 is nothing of interest for them, and so we go from from 6 to 1. And let's see, Europe seems to have the same situation, so we go from 1 to 2, which is Americas. And there indeed we can see that in this space over here the US has actually number of options that they can resolve, so during a future turn. So they increase their military political influence, the blue octagonal piece in South America. We notice there are no reactions from anyone from the cards played into the event slots in that region. So that's that card resolved. For non-players, you always simply ignore everything else that may be on the card, such as the event option. Next up, a security action. So once again, same procedure. We start with a random region selection. Again, we rolled a 5, and there indeed the US is able to pursue that opportunity by increasing their military influence, so that's what they do. And then the third card will be an economic action, again a random region, a 5 again, and so we check the Middle East, no. Then skipping 6, the US home space, no. And how about Europe? I think yes, no action there either. So 1 and then 2 going to the Americas, and there indeed the US is able to place into South America again, which they will do, place economic influence in there. And finally the last card they have is also an economic action. Let's see if we roll a 5 once more. No, we roll a 3. That is Asia. And in Asia, we have the situation that the US could place into the Chinese home space and pursue that opportunity there. Let me just quickly zoom in, and so there's the opportunity over there. And there is also the Central Asian space with this opportunity, and the world event can also be dealt with using economic influence. So those two spaces are competing, and in that situation you need a tiebreaker, which is to increase existing influence if possible, and they indeed have it here. So we simply do this, and we check reactions. No such thing. So that concludes the US turn right there. And for the non-players, plan and discard do not take place, so we simply do like that and discard the cards to the US pile. And next up we will have in the next video the EU.